Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns, where you're currently watching a best of 5 in Heart of the Swarm between QXE and Killer. Epic game number 1, over 40 minutes long. QXE falling in the end, Killer showing pretty strong play. Of course, before we jump into game 2, Full Sail University, head on over to fullsail.edu/MLG if you're looking to get into game design, graphic design, computer animation, anything involving the gaming industry, and you feel like that's the route you want to take. Full Sail might be the perfect fit for you, so check out that website, fill in some information, they'll send some information right back at you, and then you can decide if that's where you want to go, because pretty cool opportunity there. Of course, Full Sail, the official education partner of MLG. That being said, shall we?
Yes. Game number 2 on Cloud Kingdom there. Man, what a game number 1.
Jeez, I'm still like catching my breath, honestly. So much so that I'm going to let you introduce the players. A rare privilege for Mr. Axslav in the Winter Season Showdowns.
So over here at the bottom left-hand spawn location, we have QXE. And his opponent taking game number 1 with some great tech switches in the late game. We have Killer. You know, I feel like if QC never made a Widow Mine, he would have done so much better the last game.
I think so.
He spent so much money. I think he built about 60 Widow Mines that game. But they mostly just kind of hit broodings and died and stuff. He never was able to just close the distance with those guys, and even if he was able to once or twice. He didn't have the time to get him burrowed, neglecting that extremely important upgrade. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe more Hellbats to clear up the broodlings so the tanks could kill them faster. That would have been nice. But mostly, he did things really well. Just couldn't quite hold on to his half the map.
You know, and if you're not making Widow Mines and pretty much making exclusively Hellion / Hellbats, then obviously that leaves a lot of gas for,
it does.
You know, your
More Ravens.
Your you just took it out of, you knew where I was going.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Ravens, like, I've watched you play with them in the ladder. They're pretty darn good. I'm not saying you're the next Terran Bondra, but I mean, we saw how effective they could be there in that game. I mean, we saw some ridiculous explosions, but ultimately QXE just did not have enough to face off against the army that Killer ended up having here. QXE, though, not one to give up. He has a command center here, so you got a very fast command center opening here from QXE. Of course, the drone from Killer going to spot all of this, going to be able to predict what exactly is going on. And behind this Killer, taking a gas here. Just get that early speed, something he did last game.
Yes. Last game was to help deal with that early Reaper, and also, of course, the early Hellions. This game, I don't know if we'll see Reaper. I have a feeling QXE is going to spend his first, he's going to wait for 100 gas. Yeah, he's going to get a factory pretty early. It's kind of dangerous to delay the factory when you go in command center first, unless you're doing some weird bomber mass marine opening, just because the factory is that gives you the scouting ability and the ability to defend. Like Bane and Bust, you can defend with Hellions, Roaches, you can defend Widow Mines. The Reaper, you get a Reaper and you scout well too, but the later the factory is, that the harder it is to get, you can scout and see what's coming, but you won't have the factory up to build units to defend it.
Roach Warren.
Ooh, early Roach Warren coming in from Killer. So he's not going to get speed. That gas is all going to be going for a set of Roaches. I would guess it's going to be like 7 to 8 Roaches is what he's going to produce at one time. He's going to send those right across the map, and this is why QXE needs to figure this out as soon as possible. He's going to get 2 Hellions. They're going to see the Roaches on route. And
then Widow Mines from there.
Yeah, Widow Mines, maybe
a tank if you can.
Or Marauder with the Tech Lab barracks.
Sure.
In fact, adding in more barracks, you know what he's doing. I think he might just be ending up going for that. The
Hellion thing.
The Hellbat Marauder composition.
Yep.
Which will be a great way to defend Roaches if you're already going to be going for those Tech Labs. You're just going to absolutely slaughter Roaches.
Of course, once these Roaches come in here, QXE has a bunker on the low ground. He could just theoretically lift off his orbital command and retreat to his main base, and I think he'll be just fine. The idea here is to limit the SCV losses. Of course, he might even scout this straight up and have the perfect response, as you said. So we'll keep an eye on this. The Roaches are already marching across the map here. We have 6 in total here from Killer. And he's making drones behind this, so he's not going all in by any means, just trying to apply some pressure, maybe kill some SCVs while droning up back home.
The good news for, I was about to say the good news for QXE is he's already getting Marauder, but he's not. He's getting a Marine. Stim Pack won't come up on time. 2 more Hellions, and those Hellions are far enough along. You might as well let those finish before he builds more units. A second bunker onto high ground. After that Marine, we're going to see a Marauder being queued up. one more tech weapon reactor. So not doing some mass marauder hellbat type of challenge, more of a mixed bio opening from QC here.
Going to be backing those SCVs and mules behind this bunker here, trying to ensure the protection. Mule's actually going to be returning to the main base. Killer getting a decent amount of SCV kills here. This Roach play definitely catching QXC off guard. We got Marauders in production, more Hellions as well. Stim is about 20% of the way done, and there's that orbital forced to lift off as QXC sends those Hellions across the field, reasoning that, well, my opponent might not have many Roaches back home if they're all attacking me, so I'm going to try to get some counter-aggression done.
One SCV tries to get on the ramp there, probably a mistake as he gets picked off very quickly, but you know, Killer doing some damage here, but QXC not losing too many workers, and now he's on the attack.
Oh, trying to get those drones to line up so he can get those money shots off. But those Hellions going to go into the main base as well. Some Roaches popping out here from Killer to try to prevent this damage from happening, but QXC getting a decent amount of damage done with these Hellions. Look at the workers killed, up to 6 total. Trying to get a few more before backing out of there.
Oh, if he can get back into natural, get some more damage there. The Roaches are still in the main, but they're going to take out those Hellions without a problem. QXC's moving now, trying to reclaim his natural. 4 Marauders should easily be able to mop up this force, and you know, I'm a little worried for Killer because Stim Pack is moments from completing, and this bio with Stim is going to be so effective. What does he have?
Does he have concussive on the...
I don't think he doesn't have concussive, but even, I mean, Killer's got slow Roaches and slow Zergies.
Yeah.
He never got Zergie speed. He's trying to get muted, but
can those come out in time?
This Stim Pack bio army, I think, is going to run right over his base, and QXC is a player who can kite very well. Yeah,
QXC, one of the better micro players out there. And Killer's going to be on the run, trying to make 2 spine crawlers. These spine crawlers are not going to finish. Oh,
QXC doesn't want to go up the ramp. He's, you know, because if you go up the ramp, you can be hit by a surprise banelings or a concave roaches. So he's taking a safer option, which is going to give those spine crawlers more time to finish.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing no third base, he's going to come back this way. And all this time is giving... Yeah, now Killer, all of a sudden, he has 7, 8, 9 roaches.
Gosh.
2 spine crawlers up. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, QXC was waiting for the armory. He wants to transform his Hellions into Hellbat mode. Because then, of course, they tank much better. But they're right up in Helly mode.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, if you're going to wait for the armory...
Okay, Spire's about to finish, too. This is going to potentially be really problematic here. I'm looking at his... He saw the layer.
But there's no way he'll suspect Spire when he sees... Because he just poked up the ramp.
And saw Roaches.
And he saw a lot of Roaches. He saw like 10, 11 Roaches.
And there's 700 gas saved up. So we're potentially going to see at least 8 mutas here from Killer. And I don't see an engineering bay.
There's no engineering bay. He's still just going, you know, Marine, Marauder, Hellion. And sure, Marines can take on the mutas, but he doesn't have a high count. And they're be hard-pressed to keep up with the mobility mutas. There's no medevac, so every time he stims them, that's permanent damage.
Engineering base just now being added on, but for the intention of upgrading. 9 mutas are going to pop here, and we're going to have to see when QXC identifies that this is the play that's going to be coming forward from Killer, because Killer could be in a situation where if you go straight after mineral lines, what does QXC really have to defend?
Best defense, maybe an offense, go on a counterattack, try to get the mutas to go home. He's got a lot of Marauders with Stim Pack. He may be able to break that spine force, but Killer anticipating this, adding 2 more spine crawlers as the mutas are starting to be ready to position to go into QXC's main. There's absolutely nothing here to defend. All
right, mutas going into the main base of QXC, taking down SCVs. Turrets just now being started here, and so many SCVs gonna fall here from QXC. The SCV's trying to run, but there's nowhere to run. The mutas taking QXC completely off guard. 2 Winnemines immediately in production, 4 Marines immediately in production, 2 turrets immediately in production as well, but has the damage been done already?
The question is going to be, what can QXC do with his counterattack? Hitting the front strong here as the mutas are trying to do damage into his natural.
All right, Killer trying to make Roaches here to defend against this. QXC needs to get a significant amount of damage done to equalize this game, considering the damage that's being done to his natural expansion as we speak. Marines Marauders charging into the natural, and hold on, Killer is having a bit of a tough time dealing with his. No mutas back home to potentially help out. 8 Roaches in production.
He's sending mutas back home, realizing that he's going to need them to defend.
Wow, the natural expansion going to get taken down. Is this what QXC needed? 8 more Roaches in production. Drones are actually going to be pulled here from Killer, and QXC even target those down. That would be a great pickoff. I mean, he's going to lose these units anyway.
He got the hatchery.
Yeah, he got the hatchery. And okay, let's take tabs at things.
I mean, he lost a lot of SCVs, but he killed the hatchery. If I was QXC, I'd feel in my head right now, but that's because I don't know about the other hatchery.
Killer's killed 41 killers, 41 workers this game.
Oh, he's got the Overseer. He knows about the Widow Mines.
Oh, if the Marines can stem forward and snipe
yes,
the
they
overseer.
can, but just having the knowledge that they're out there is definitely valuable because he knows to be
Sure.
careful with the meter harass. Getting roach speed, the roaches will come in first. They might try to take the Widowmine hits.
Bunker trying to get finished here.
Oh,
One
a lot of
Widowmine
damage
getting a
being done.
shot off onto the roaches. Muta's staying a little bit further back, so Widowmine getting another shot off here onto those roaches. And Killer's going to back away.
The idea of having roaches tank Widowmines is fine and good, except that the Widowmines still kill roaches. They just kill just about everything. QXC needs to get that third orbital up because he's hurting in the SCV department. He does have that missile turret in the main, though. He's got a Marine Corps and Widowmines in his natural. I think he's stabilized.
He's going to start repairing this turret. The Muta's trying to target it, actually trying to target down those SCVs, but Killer throwing away a lot of Mutas in order to do that. Overseer is going to stay alive. Keep in mind, Killer had a third base behind this, and that's huge because QXC never really identified that and was unable to punish that either. Theoretically, he could have backed up and potentially tried to kill that, but again, he still does not know that's there. So that might be, honestly, the edge that Killer is gaining in this game.
Yeah, I feel if I was in the QXC shoes. Oh, look at that! Using one unit to tank that Widowmine. The rest of the Mutas are able to take it out without a problem. Coming back in here, but the turret is still there. And meanwhile, there's this Marine squadron pushing across the map, but they can find out about that third base. They can do some serious damage.
QXC trying to run forward with these Widowmines and Marines. Widowmines not going to be able to get a shot off.
Oh, it is! Knocking out the Overseer, and that's going to spell the end to the Muta harass. The Marines are moving up using scan to take out Peep Tumor after Peep Tumor. 11 roaches
still
in
doesn't know
production.
about the third.
Oh, but, I mean, he might just do enough damage to the natural here.
That's a lot of Marines. He's going straight for that mineral line, going to try to take down some roaches as well. Mutas are honestly going to have to be forced to engage here, something you never want to do with Marines. QXC might even try to target those down. Looks like QXC is going to clean up so many roaches and Mutas here, but finally going to get cleaned up on his own. Getting some drones here for fun.
I mean, QXC has got to be feeling good because he thinks that's the only two bases, and he just did critical damage to the natural yet again, but he doesn't know there's that third base on the right side. There's a fourth base coming up. He does have 3 orbitals, though. He has been rebuilding his SCV count. He's cranking out Widowmines. If he can figure out about these bases and launch an attack with Marines and Widowmines, I think it's going to be an exceptionally effective attack because it's just a great combination against roaches and Mutas.
Yeah, I mean, even just sending one Marine scouting across the map would be a great thing to do here from QXC, just so we can identify that that's going on, because the longer that base stays up, it's completely defenseless, first of all. The better chance Killer has to really secure a lead and extend that lead as this game goes forward. But QXC is still unable to identify that, going to head straight for that third base, leading forward with the Widowmines Marines. Just in the back there. +2 is on the way as well, and Killer is going to lose his hat trick.
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's too many. Oh, the Widowmine's taking out a lot of eggs there. Nicely done by QXC, but they're going to be on cooldown for a little bit, making sure to knock out those broodlings. And I think, is Killer trying to cut off the army?
He's trying to set up a flank. The Overseer are going to get taken out. Again, these Marines can't stem forever, considering there's no medevac to really support them. He has 1-1 with 2-2 on the way. Pretty wonky game we have in our hands here.
He still doesn't know about the third, so he's thinking I'm on 3 bases, or about to be on 3 as I'm moving. Yeah. But Killer is just cranking on upgrades. He's trying to add in banings. QXC's switching away from Widowmines into Hellion production, which of course can be turned into Hellbats.
Yes.
And I like what QXC's doing. He's not trying to retreat with his army or push more forward, because he knows it's a small army. It's just going to be there to occupy that position. And the way the Marines are spread and the Widowmines placed there, it's not going to be very easy for Killer to take that out.
Considering all the circumstances, I think QXC is playing this game quite well. Staying on top of his upgrades, staying on top of his macro and unit production, securing that third base. Of course, the Marines are eventually going to get surrounded. They were doomed to die, trying to hold strong in that third, but they did their job. They lived their life fully and appropriately for their commanding officer, QXC. But, Killer's 14 rushes in production. He's working on +1 missile attacks, +2 ground carapace, and then Hydra range, also adding on that infestation bit. And he's going straight for that third base. I wonder at what point QXC will realize, oh my gosh, my opponent has a third because of all these units that are coming out.
It's got to happen sooner or later. Widowmine's taking out some of the forces, but Killer still has so many more units. QXC's forces trying to hurry back to defend Hellions in Hellion mode, now transforming to Hellbat mode. Killer says, you know what, those are Hellbats. I better get out of here.
Of course, Medevac's going to be healing everything from above, but Killer, again, he has a pretty sizable army here. Roaches and Hydras extending forward. QXC turning around, get a stim and try to deal with this. Trying to repair the orbital command. Killer trying to target that down, but it looks like QXC is going to barely keep that alive, even going to lift it off so the Roaches don't do the damage. But now Killer's going to turn around and focus on the army, and QXC's entire army is starting to dissolve away to the Hydras, now forced to pull those SCVs to deal with this. QXC desperately trying to hold this off, trying to keep this third alive, has to be a little bit concerned that his opponent shouldn't have this much based on what he's scouted. But again, the third base really showing its effectiveness, but QXC finally able to shove it away for now.
For now, but there's more and more and more Zerg coming. The waves don't end. He's lost so many SCVs in the process. Can he keep replenishing his forces at the rate he needs to scale with the Zerg army?
He's got to retreat that third base. There's no way he can hold that against that many Roaches. Trying to add on more and more Medevacs, Hellbats, Marauders, and Marines, working on plus 3 weapons.
Yeah, he's got great upgrades. I mean, Killer has got great upgrades as well, though. One on the range, 2 on the armor versus QXC's 2-2. More and more. Oh, letting that command center. That's not gonna.
Oh, he just dropped it to lay down.
Yeah. I mean, he needed those mules. It was cut a little close there, but as long as that stays alive. Now the Bioforce is starting to scale up, getting a little bit bigger. He needs more Medevacs. He's doing that. 2 more on the way. Marines and Marauders are being cranked out like maniacs. Killer with the 50 supply advantage, but as the Marine and Marauder ball grows, it's going to be very efficient versus Roach Hydras. He needs to add in, the Vipers and Festers, those support units, because once there's sufficient Medevacs, the Roach Hydra army just will not kill the Bio army.
Yeah, especially based on the upgrades QXC, is currently working on.
There's some Trader Marines in the mix.
Oh, there are indeed.
Not all those Marines are who they seem to be.
No,
you can tell because they're not stimming.
Yeah.
When you give a stim order and 2 of your Marines don't listen.
Well, QXC noticed they also can't keep up normally.
Yes.
They're trying. Wait for us.
There's 2 little Trader guys. QXC with a little bit of a Marine Widowmine harassment over the top left. Killer's gonna clear that up, and Killer meanwhile has a bottom right base as well.
I think he's about to find out.
Oh, is he?
I think he is. And he's gonna be like, oh.
Oh, this is gonna break his heart because he just sees the third, what he thinks is the third, not done yet, and he's like, what? And now he sees this base, and what's even worse,
check on the minerals.
The bottom right.
He on him too.
He sees the bottom right base as well.
Oh my gosh, it's almost the worst feeling in the world.
And now he's like, oh no. What have I done? But you know what? He's actually not in a terrible position.
No, he's not. He's still in this game for sure.
Yeah, he's just got to adopt a defensive posture, start using drops because these spaces on the right side are very hard to defend. It's exactly what he's doing. 1 Medevac came down there, but there's already a Zerg anti-drop force. And oh no, the Medevac goes down just straight to the Hydralisk. Meanwhile, Killer's just trying to contain QXC to the 3 bases. QXC's got to build up his army. He's adding in more and more Hellbats, a great tank unit. He's got the 3rd attack upgrade.
Infestor's now in the mix.
Oh yes, Fungal
Fungal's gonna be great. QXC bunching all the units together. There's the Fungal. QXC trying to dodge it, but it's gonna nab most of that army. And now Killer has a phenomenal concave at the bottom here. Gonna be engaging with the Roaches and the Hydras. Thankfully though, for QXC, the Infestors are running low on energy, but can he hold his 3rd base? Getting very low in health. Trying to repair with those SCVs. The Orbital once again trying to get away, taking the high ground, doing a significant amount of damage as well. And another Fungal nailing the Marines and Marauders. QXC doesn't really have the Medevac count to justify absorbing these fungal shots, and Killer just like that. He's up 162 to 96 supply. QXC is going to try to pick up and go straight for the
Desperation
3rd base.
Counter drop, and that's the right move to do. Going to slowly retake his own 3rd, but he's got to do massive damage to this drop. Killer, though, has spotted it.
Fungal.
Oh, no. 2 of the Medevacs going down to that Fungal there, and that's going to spell GG. Wow. QXC concedes, and Killer, man. Taking those right side bases, and I mean, QXC had to think he was winning throughout most of that game until the units just didn't stop coming. He sends it to Marines to scout, and he's like, oh, well, that's no good.
Yeah, I mean, all those facts considered, it was honestly a nicely played game from QXC, considering the advantage his opponent had, supposedly, as far as economy is concerned, that QXC was unable to scout. But in a game that was defined by, essentially lack of scouting, with the Roaches doing a really good amount of damage to QXC, and then, of course, the follow-up mutaplay, not necessarily predicted as well. And then, of course, QXC unable to spot that 3rd for the longest of times. It's just so hard as a Terran player in that position to really come back, and of course Killer with great decisions, making the transitions when necessary. But let that game be an example to all you players at home. You got to scout those additional bases, that especially when you think you might have a lead.
Yeah, and I mean, if it wasn't for those QXC, he definitely had an extreme lead there with all the damage he did to natural. Anyway, he's going to fall down 0-2.
He is. He's going to be down by 2 games, but he's not out of it just yet. This is a best of 5. You must get 3 wins in a row before you can book your ticket to the Winter Championship event. Of course, Killer is 1 win away. QXC has some work to do. He has to win 3 in a row. We'll find out if he can do it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Game 3 in just a bit.